Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Duster Squad podcast. As you can see, starting a little different today. So, I had an update for a software I use for audio routing in on my PC. So, unfortunately, we were without audio for the first about 15 minutes of the show. Really unfortunate. It's happened before, but this time we were live, so I couldn't really be like, "All right, let's start over." So I was like, "You know what? I'll just record a little intro and it'll be fine." So, what we discussed for the first 15 minutes of the show was the Swayman and Olmark deals, as well as talking about how kind of the next man up is Shesterkin and wondering what his deal will look like considering he rejected an $11 million per year deal. And then we got into the team talk segment. I spoke a little bit about the Islanders, but Eric ends up joining later in the show, so you can hear from him and the start of Benny's talking about the Habs, but we got most of that anyway. So that's why there's a bit of an abrupt beginning to the show. It was a bit of a mistake by me. So, yeah, thanks for watching.
The Habs got it to 5-4, but Primo's just not. He's just not it. That's gonna be their biggest disadvantage. Everyone is that Caden Primo is gonna have to play some games. Um, but it was like they made it 5-4 with like 5 minutes left, and then he immediately let in like the shittiest goal in the world. It was rough. It was tough, but then we wrapped up first 3 games of the season with a game against Ottawa last night, which aside from like the first 5 minutes of the game, but like perfection. Loved it so much. Fantastic game. They win 4-1. Lane Hudson was the most dominant he had been. Like against Toronto, he was kind of swimming a little bit, trying to figure himself out. Against
Which is to
Boston
be
towards the
expected, I suppose.
right. I mean, it was his third NHL game. Yeah. And then against Boston, he sort of picked it up in the back half of the game. And then against Ottawa last night, I loved him so much. The highlight for me was he kept it in his zone on a play. I think it was after a power play had just ended. Kept it in the zone on a play, shrugged off a Brady Tkachuk check, and then got it to the corner, and then got it back again, and then passed it over to Newhook, who scored to make it 3-0. And it was just fantastic night. And that was one of the points I was also going to bring up was Lane Hudson, 4 assists in 3 games so far. But the bigger, broader thing with the 3 games, they're playing like a team that knows who they are and what kind of personnel they have, in that their biggest focus is keeping everything to the outside. Keeping everything to the outside on the defensive end as good as they can, and the results have been mixed because they still have a shitload of young defensemen, so there's been some lapses. But it's keep everything to the outside, and then as soon as you get it, you turn it up ice. Like, they're not waiting a fucking second. They're like as up ice immediately, and that seems to be the play so far. And they're just trying to be advantageous when they can be with the chances they get, because they have to be. Because I mean, they're still like, it's a hopeful team, but we're still realistic with where we're at. But it's been a promising first few games. Added into that promise has been Cole Caulfield with 4 goals in 3 games so far. So that's been pretty nice.
Yeah, I've been
He had
noticing
a
that.
fucking laser last night. Oh, he's on Eric's team, yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I had him last year. I wish I would have got him this year.
Yeah, he had a fucking laser over Ullmark's shoulder short side last night. It was that was insane. And then the other goal he got was just a rebound, but it was still nice to see him to get 2. And then the last Habs thing I'll say, Sam Montembeault, 72 out of 73 shots he's saved so far in 2 games played. He's looked fantastic, and it hasn't been him like you know how sometimes you'll see a goalie play out his mind for a game, but it's just him being like athletic and like flinging his body around. It's like, this isn't the cleanest goaltending you can see,
Yeah.
but he's pulling it off, but it's probably not going to be sustainable. No, he's been like calm, stoic. Like, he's been so positional. Like, it's been really nice to see. So I'm hoping he can keep that going. He's currently sitting at a .986 save percentage through 2
dang.
games.
Wow. All right. All right. Interesting. Interesting. What'll be interesting is if he continues that, does he get? I don't know if the rosters for Canada are done for or for any of the countries are done for this Four Nations face-off, but it'll be interesting to see if he
No,
gets looked at for that.
and there's a lot of buzz around that. I mean, just with West, it's such a small sample size so far, so obviously it
2
needs to
games.
continue. But because he went, and I think I'm pretty sure he won a world championship in the spring a couple years ago with Team Canada, so he's already on their radar. And if he continues like this, goalie for Canada is weak enough right now where he could probably at least get third string for Four Nations and then see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
So I mean, especially if he continues this. I mean, if he continues this, it'd be stupid not to. Like it's been 2 games, but he looks fantastic. But yeah,
Well,
I
good
don't know.
enough.
Have you guys seen any of the Habs play so far?
I watched the Leafs game,
Which
and
was not the prettiest game in the world.
no, it was crazy back and forth, like sloppy. It was game 1. It was the first game of the season, so it's like that's how they've all kind of been. They've all been kind of
Oh well. Nope, and
okay.
he's back.
All right.
I lost audio for a second. My bad.
Okay,
No,
that's
you're
weird.
good.
That's weird.
I was watching you guys talking and lips were moving, but audio was not coming out.
Okay. But yeah,
But
the
all the games so far, you're saying, that have been kind of
oh
back
yeah,
and
all
forth
the
for you?
beginning of the games are kind of
Yeah.
just sloppy and
Yeah.
that's what that game was like. But I was like, oh, they don't look terrible. I mean, it wasn't great. Obviously, lots of shots
No.
against, lots of decent chances that Montembeault saved. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was all right.
Yeah. And I will say they have, as I've watched all 3, although granted that Boston game, the back half of it, I was like sneaking glances as we played Fortnite the other night.
Yep.
But they've had a nice progression of their play where it's I mean, even last night there was moments of messiness, but like each game they've gotten a lot more structured and it's gotten a lot better, which has been nice to see. I mean, no shade to the Sens, Nick. It obviously was probably the lowest offensive talent team so far, so that probably contributes to it last night. If you were talking about Boston and Toronto before, but I don't know. I'm intrigued to see where it goes. We got the Penguins next, and it's not like the Penguins are wild this year, and they've been able to play them pretty well the last couple of years. So we'll see how that goes.
Could be another win.
Could be.
Okay. Nick, the Senators
So naturally,
start off their season quite nicely.
Yes.
Yeah. So they got a nice tidy little win against Florida. Naturally, didn't watch it. Honestly, I forgot about it, to be completely frank with you, and I had intentions of watching last night's game, but there was some shit that was going on in the afternoon that I didn't end up getting into it. So I watched a little bit of clips and stuff, but 1-1 start of the season. I can't say that's too bad. I think the high point is Timmy Stutz is looking pretty nice. He's really
he had
the only reason
fucking
that their
snipe
offense is
last
clicking
night.
right now. I
He
think
had a snipe last night. It was a nice goal. I mean,
if I
hate him,
remember
but I
right,
have
he
to give
either
it
had
to
a
him.
goal. Oh, he had 2 goals in the Florida game, and he had a goal last night. So of the 4 goals that the Senators have scored this year, he has 3. So
I mean, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
so that's good, and it's good to see that his thing last year was he had a lot of assists and he didn't score a ton. He still scored a lot, but it's I'm hopeful that he has a good year, kind of like how you expect Cole Caulfield to be this year, Ben. I expect Timmy to kind of step it up. So
I mean, they're close to each other. I mean, if he has 3, he's only 1 shy of Cole, so it's gonna be maybe we'll get a Ottawa Montreal goals race for the rest. No, I mean Matthews is just gonna pass him again. But
Have you
we can
all
have fun in these
forgotten?
first few
Have you
games.
all forgotten about Dylan Gunther? Shit.
I know. Look at that.
Yes. He out of nowhere. I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna be sustainable, but holy shit, we'll
He
get
has
to that.
arrived, and we can talk about
Yeah.
that later.
Yeah,
I was shocked to see the Senators beat the Panthers, though.
I was surprised too. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, damn!" I was a little worried for last night, and then last night happened, and I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, Olmark showed up for that one and decided not to for for against Montreal, but whatever.
I mean, looking at those goals, especially that Cole one, both of the Cole ones, really, it wasn't him. Like, that wasn't his fault. But anyhow,
I did not watch.
Yeah, and they got some older guys on that team too. We talked about it last week, and you're inevitable to be a little sloppy to start the season. And my personal expectations would have been that they would have hopefully have beaten Montreal, but hey, they didn't. It is what it is. It's the second game of the season, so who really gives a shit, right? That doesn't mean anything in the long run. So
True that.
just don't make a trend of it.
True that.
So,
yeah,
when's the
this
next
first
game?
the whole first week, 2 weeks is like
everybody's kind of
you
getting
gotta
back
figure it
into
out. You know,
I will
you
say,
are what
though,
you are.
I don't know what Travis Hamonic is still doing on an NHL team after what I saw last night.
What are you talking about? They love Hammer.
I'm sure he's great in the room, but fuck,
He's a beauty.
like,
He's a real beauty.
like holy shit.
So I don't know if my phone's wrong or if this is true. Their next game is tomorrow at 1.
Which
Yeah,
is
there's like
really-
3 1:00 games tomorrow. I saw it too. I
What
was
the
looking at
fuck?
it earlier. I was like,
Yeah.
on a Monday?
So,
I gotta
So,
remember to do
if all
my
things shake
fantasy
out well
before I go to
tomorrow,
work.
yeah, if all things shake out well tomorrow, I'll watch that. They play LA, then they play Jersey a little later in the week, and then
They
they
play-
play Tampa too.
They play Law.
Holy
play
shit,
Tampa-
my matchup is coming down to it. Holy fuck.
Yeah,
do,
mine's close too.
do they play
I can't
Tampa?
get my calendar up. They play Tampa on the 19th, so what? That's Saturday. Yeah.
You sounds like it, yeah. All right, hey, maybe we, we'll have some little fisticuffs on the podcast after that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's
yeah,
going
that's
on with
all I've
those 1
got.
p.m. those 1 p.m. games.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
the
dude.
one on Saturday is at 1 too.
Oh, okay. All right. Well. Yeah, I will say I was impressed that they won that first game, and it was not a close game, right? That was like, it was like a, what was it, like 3-1, 4-1, something like that?
3-1.
3-1? Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty tidy against the reigning cup
Against
champs
Florida,
as well.
that's pretty good.
Although
I mean,
they've
I
looked
think
a
they
bit.
lost Barkov early.
They did, that's true.
Oh, also, so much of their roster from last year left. I mean, on Toronto
Also true.
alone, they have Ekman Larson, Stolars, and Steven Lorentz. Lomberg went to Calgary. Montour went
Stolars,
to Seattle.
Was he
like,
not? Was
He
Stolars
was their
not?
backup.
Was he
He
not
was their
Anaheim?
No, he was Florida's backup last year.
Oh.
And he did really well.
Yeah.
That was why he went over to Toronto, because they're like, holy shit, you were pretty good last year.
Oh wow, this guy
I
looks
think he
good. We're
only-
gonna bet on another backup goalie.
Yes.
Yeah, which
We
see
will
how that
have
goes for
we
them,
will have
but-
5 backup goalies. Who needs one
We
starter?
can't afford a number 1, so we will have 5 backups, and that will do.
Yep. They will make it. They'll make it work. They really will. Okay. You guys want me to talk about the Lightning?
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So they've only played 1 game. They did not start their season until Friday. It was a week after the games in Prague that the Lightning played their first game.
Well, yeah, I imagine because the hurricane stuff, right? Because
Well, they played away.
Rescheduled.
They played away for their first game. Yeah, but they were doing a home and home back to back with Carolina, and the second game on Saturday was supposed to be in Tampa, and then they postponed that because of the hurricane stuff.
for obvious reasons. Yes.
Yep. That hurricane, by the way, did not hit us even a little bit.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but we
for
must
you
have been
guys,
right on the
yeah.
edge. Yeah. So that's good for us, but
I mean, I feel like isn't the east coast of Florida generally, because doesn't a lot of shit come off the Gulf and hit
yeah,
the
less
west
of it,
side?
definitely less off of the on
Not
the
that it
on the
can't
Atlantic.
happen, but
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot less.
Sarasota and Bradenton got hammered by it. But,
Yep. Those are right just south of Tampa, and that was the danger zone there. Was just south of Tampa. So hopefully everybody down there is all right. Hopefully, if you needed to, you got out, because
yeah.
there's a lot of people that I think are like, it'll be fine. Just go. If you can do it, if you can evacuate, get out.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out later. But hey, the Lightning went in and they took revenge on the Hurricanes for their brethren, for Milton. They took revenge on the Hurricanes. But the problem is, here's the problem: is the whole offseason they were looking at trying to get better 5-on-5, and then they proceeded to score 0 goals 5-on-5. and still won the game. They had 2 power play goals. Score? It was 4-1. 2 power play goals and 2 empty net goals. Technically even strength, but not really. It's not really. I don't count that as a 5-on-5 goal if there's no goalie.
Yeah. No, that's a whole other thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was it was a little sloppy, but they honestly from all the other games I watched of other teams, the Lightning actually looked, and the Hurricanes did as well, looked pretty defensively sound. There was a few grade A chances given up on each side, but a lot less than other games I had watched. It was actually pretty boring if you were just a regular hockey fan looking for some high flying. It was pretty boring. You probably wouldn't have enjoyed watching that game.
Yeah.
But hey, the power play's still going. Kucherov actually shot the puck one-timer, and it was an absolute missile.
Hell yeah.
It was a really nice shot.
I was interested. How does Guentzel look so far?
He looks like shit. He did nothing the whole game. I was watching because
it's been one game.
I know it's one game, but let me talk about that one game. I was watching for him because I was like, all right, let's see how he looks. He did nothing, bro. He was he would have the puck and he would get stripped. He would go to challenge a guy and the dude would just go by him. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man? But the problem I had, maybe he's sick or something. He didn't even look like he was. He looked like he was hardly trying. If he at least looked like Brandon Hagel, that guy's skating. That dude's trying, and you can tell. He might get bodied off the puck, but he will then. You can tell he's skating his ass off to try and get back and correct the mistake. Guentzel, dude just didn't look like he cared. I don't know. One game, I'm sure he'll come out of it. He ended up with an assist, but it was a 4-foot pass to Kucherov, who put it into the empty net. So does it really count? It does.
So you take Stammer was one of their top guys on the PP, right?
Oh yeah, he was the guy. Yeah.
So now with him gone, how do they structure that?
It's actually interesting. They have Hedman on top still at the top of the umbrella, and then they have Kucherov on his spot on the right boards, and then on the left boards they actually put in Darren Radish, another defenseman he has last season he had 2 of the top 3 hardest shots in game action, and they were 101 and 101.3 or something like that.
The dude's got a fucking cannon.
He launches it. So I think that was their thought, is if we can get this guy a one-timer, it's going to be going so fast. If it hits the net, it might actually go in. But
I mean, it's not the worst.
No, that's a plan.
If there's ever a time for specialized skills, it's the power play where you have a guy up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested to see if that'll, because of all teams, the Lightning going back to a 2 defenseman power play.
It's interesting. That might tell you how much depth they lack on the front. Dear.
At forward, yeah.
My goodness.
Oh, geez, yeah.
But yeah, so that's their umbrella, and then they've got Point in the bumper middle spot, and they still have Nick Paul as the net front guy. So Guentzel not on the first power play unit. I don't remember seeing him on the second either, to be honest. But
interesting.
He must have been. He had to have been. He's $9 million.
Well, I mean,
at that price, he better be.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Guentzel, I mean, he's a guy who's consistently done great with Sidney Crosby.
That's what I was saying at the beginning.
As in, you also have good players he can play well with. It's just he was with one team for so long, and now he's here. So, just give him a sec.
Okay. Fine.
But
I will
If
give
we've
him a
come-
sec.
If we've come to the end of team talks, would we like to take a break real quick and then
Yeah.
come back
Let's
with
we'll
Eric
so yeah,
Oliver?
we'll take a little break. Eric's just jumped in, as you can see, but we're gonna take a little break. We'll get him all settled in, and then we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We got Eric in the house now, so thank goodness, because honestly, a show without Eric, we don't want that. We never want that.
I don't want that either. I don't want that either. I was like, shit.
Okay, so I don't believe any of us, Eric, watch any of the Islanders games, and I spoke about just the scores and that the Islanders, at least in their first game, scored 4 goals, and I was like, hey, that's something. But what do you think? As I don't know if you watched any of the games, but
So, I actually want to talk about the reason why I couldn't watch much of the Islanders games, actually any of them really, other than like highlights. Because as everyone knows, I live in New York, and when you want to stream
Oh,
a New York team, you fucking can because of the
Mhm.
stupid NHL blackout. So I am actively trying to figure out a way to watch the
you gotta get
Islanders.
MSG.
I was gonna say there is
So-
MSG.
I have to get MSG, and I guess I have to pay for a subscription. But I think before that, I'd rather get someone like a friend or family member who has cable. If you put the cable provider and just use like their information or whatever, it's free.
Yep.
Um,
So if
So-
you
Yeah,
have,
try-
because
try to
if you
try to
can
figure that shit out.
prove if you can
Yeah.
prove that you
gotta know
have
enough
the
people
cable,
down there.
yeah.
Yeah, if somebody legitimately has Spectrum, they should
Yeah.
have all the credentials with it,
couldn't
so
you
then you
use?
can log in and watch and stream.
So I could use.
You
I
literally
could
use
use
anybody's.
I could use my own Spectrum as well. I also could try to do that.
What
It's
about like
funny.
your mom and dad? Because they have the
They
cable,
have
right?
Verizon. They have Verizon.
Oh, you might be able to do
Oh.
that anyway.
Yeah. I don't think MSG Go has changed, but I thought Optimum supported it.
There's
I'll
I won't go into the details too much. Just remind me after. I do know of a streaming site out there that lets you watch most games that you desire. So let
Okay.
me shoot a quick text and I'll get back to you.
Is it illegal?
Shh.
Okay, no, I didn't.
Nothing is illegal. We have
Nothing.
not gone to any alleged websites.
There's
No.
no illegalness.
But yeah, anyway, so that's talking about how to watch the Islanders, which is more entertaining than what the Islanders produced on the ice this week. But we can get into that now. Yeah, they lost to Utah in overtime, and I guess to be fair, Utah's pretty hot right now. I think they're 3-0 still. I don't think they played today. So they look pretty good offensively. I liked what I saw from the Islanders offensively against Utah. Like you said, they scored 5, which was really cool. 4? Oh God, am I getting my...
Islanders got 4. Islanders got 4.
Yeah, sorry. They beat the Rangers 6-5 the other night.
The
But yeah,
Kraken-
the
Utah did,
Islanders,
yeah.
Yes.
the Islanders put in 4 goals, and I really liked that the top line looked pretty good. That Duclair, Horvat, Barzell line looks very good and was producing. The Islanders picked up that guy Maxim Siplikov from the KHL, and he scored his first NHL goal against
Oh,
Utah.
yeah.
That was really cool. And they need some production from that second line, which was awesome. But defensively, guys, oh my goodness. It's kind of weird because the Islanders struggle to score, right? That's like always their thing. But now that they have Waz, their head coach, who like very much focuses on offense, they seem to have lost that team defense thing that they had going. And exactly, it's like, well, if you don't have that, and then you can't score consistently, are you guys just gonna like be even like less mid than mid? I don't know.
They'll just be an impossible team to make a bet on. Like over under, no idea.
Yeah, so I don't want
Any
to. I'm
given
not
night,
hitting.
who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I'm not hitting the panic button yet because obviously it's
Been
so
2
early in the
games.
season.
Yeah.
And Varlamov has looked okay. I don't really think a lot of the goals were his fault. But the other piece of this is Sorokin hasn't started a game yet because he was coming off that injury that he had surgery on. And again, I want to see the Islanders. I want to see the Islanders defense with Sorokin and net, who can maybe make a few saves to change some momentum, and I guess swing the tide of the Islanders' lack of team defense. But we'll see. We'll see. That's really all I have to say about the Islanders. So they've only played 2 games. I guess the Stars game I'll touch on briefly. They didn't score at all. They got shut out by Ottinger, which was great for my fantasy team, ironically. But
yes, it was.
yeah, but they had their chances. They just lost to a really good goalie. So I'm not really too worried about the outcome of that. But that's all I have to say. Not much Isles news, guys.
All right then. Yeah, that's kind of how it is. Sometimes you get goalied.
Yep,
Just how it goes.
that's it. And Dallas is a really good team. It's not like they got goalied by like Peter Mrazek or something like that.
Oh boy. That'd be unfortunate.
Yeah. So.
All right. So there we go. There's our Isles update. Moving on, though, I believe right now, gentlemen, we're going into a brand new segment that I have sort of been workshopping, and we can change it up a little bit. The original idea I had for this was a little bit inappropriate, but I'll talk about it anyway. The original idea was it was going to be like a role play. So basically, I would pick one of you, and I would give you're going to play a role of this team's management, this player, whatever. And the question was going to be it was called the clench meter. It was going to be what are you breaking in between your clenching butt cheeks? But I was like, you know what? I think we can change that up. I couldn't think of a good way to kind of bring it all together. So, so there you go.
Like, what are we mad about and we want to destroy?
No. So clenching, like nervous clenching. Remember, we always.
What is making
like when you're playing,
cheeks?
Call of Duty Zombies, and then you all start to go down, and you're like. Keep in and out.
Exactly. When you have a tiny gap to fit through between the zombies, and so you got to clench your cheeks to get through there.
What is making you feel like that? Okay.
That was the original. The revised version I am going to now dub the heat meter. So I'm going to give you a role who is currently on the hot seat. We'll say. I think
I don't
Danielle.
know if a lot of heat between my cheeks. What's
No. It's we're done with cheeks. Well, not done with cheeks, but we're off of the cheeks. So
moved on from that.
I know.
So,
I had one last joke to make. I had to.
Seat warmers, man. Okay.
That's true, actually.
So this time it's going to be the heat meter, and I would like you to please put your answer in the form of a hot pepper. Now, I can give you some examples right now because I have the Scoville scale open. So, bell pepper obviously is 0. It's essentially water. So that's obviously like the lowest. A middle. Interestingly enough, habanero is actually kind of in the middle. Cayenne is sort of in the middle.
Inventing rather, not invest. They keep inventing new ones that are
that are really hot.
Ass Blaster 9000 that's been like genetically bred to like.
Yeah, the Ass Blaster 9000. That is the top level. If you are if the seat is as hot as it can go, it is an Ass Blaster 9000. There it is. But also Carolina Reaper is pretty high up there. Pepper spray's hot, and I'm seeing something here called the pure capsaicin. But I don't know what that is. So Trinidad Scorpion.
Capsicum?
Capsaicin?
Is it not capsaicin? Capsaicin?
It might be. I was thinking of a different word. Capsicum plants are like pepper plants.
That might be it. That might be how you say it.
But I think that's a different word.
But yeah, so Carolina Reaper is the hottest one that of like the kind of the more commonly known ones. So there we go. There's the premise.
Ass Blaster 9000 for when you're really fucked.
If you're really if you're really shitting bricks,
yeah,
that's it. That's it right there. Okay. So I will. So this is the way it works.
More of a steady stream than bricks, but
yes, yeah, true. Honestly, true. If you're shitting rain.
Holy shit.
So the way that this is gonna work, I'm gonna pick one of you three will be the role player. You will talk about you will give us a rating and talk about your position. And then
Sure.
the rest of us will be able to add in our own ratings and why we think that.
Okay.
Are we like, if it's like GM, are we talking about it as if we're in a press conference, like we're giving a shitty hockey ass answer?
No, you are. This is like you're in the mind. You're playing the role of this
okay. Sure.
person.
Okay.
So let's think here. So what? Okay, I have two here for the first iteration. I'm gonna start with Benny. Okay, Benny. You are Sabres management. What? How hot is
Do I
the
have to
seat?
be?
Yes, you do. How hot is the seat you are sitting on when you think about the fact that you are once again on a shite start and you haven't been to the playoffs in a billion years? What? How concerned are you that like? How hot is it getting in that room?
What's like the second or third rung down, pepper wise? From the top.
You've got habaneros in the middle, a chocolate habanero. Wow.
Sounds pretty good, actually.
Jalapenos like in between. Habanero's like in the middle.
Let's say habanero because it's getting spicy. They need to, or sorry, no, I'm the GM. We need to fucking do something. At some point, that'd be cool. Which granted, we just had a big win against Florida, so that's big. They beat Florida, right?
Yeah,
I'm not
they did.
misremembering that.
No,
Hell
you're
yeah.
That is correct.
But we do need to see a little more consistency out of the goaltending. And by consistency, I mean I need Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen to pull some shit out of his ass this year.
Oh my god.
And
right.
you gotta hope we're kind of in the same position as the Habs, where we have a shitload of young defensemen, probably some better ones than the Habs, honestly. But they got to do something. They gotta come together and gel together. If that doesn't happen at some point soon, yes, I will probably lose my job.
All right, there we go. Excellent job. That is exactly what I'm looking for right there. So that was the prototypical. That was a prototypical example for what I want to see out of the heat meter, gentlemen.
And scene.
Excellent job. Eric, what do you think about that? And what would your pepper scale be?
I think the pepper scale is pretty accurate, if I'm being honest. I think the thing that I would want to see, I'd want to do if I was the GM, right, to get that, pepper rating, almost a little bit spicier, but in a good way. We're gonna kind of go a little crazy here. Can we make a splash with a fucking trade, please, and do something exciting? Like the last exciting thing that happened with Buffalo was Jack Eichel left. And it wasn't exciting.
I'm sorry, Eric. You're saying that as an Islanders fan?
Oh,
yeah.
Well, exactly. That's what he's saying.
All right, I mean, he would know it best. Yeah.
Dude, exactly. I'm taking out my frustration with Islanders management by cosplaying as Sabres management right now. Come on.
That's fair. That's fair.
But seriously, like they, unlike the Islanders, they have the cap space to do some stuff, right, and move some pieces around. I think they have to make Buffalo an exciting place to play again because, like you said, they have all this young talent. So my first thought is the Senators can bring someone like Ullmark in, right, and that gets people going. Oh, they have this young talent. They have a goaltender. Maybe we do want to play in Ottawa. Like this could be kind of fun. So Sabres, you have a good young goalies in Devin Levi and UPO. You have good young defensemen. Maybe let's get a superstar here on the offense, or maybe even on maybe not on the defense. Let's keep it offense. Let's get a superstar here on offense. Let's take advantage of teams who can handle their cap situations and make something happen. So that's what I have to add.
All right then, Nick, do you have anything to add to that? Do you have a pepper rating?
I would say it's a little lower.
Dang.
Because they brought Lindy Ruff in this year?
Yes.
So you're working with a new head coach. He's obviously going to have different mindset on how he's going to structure the team and how he's going to set them up to play. and I think we can all probably agree that takes some time to get through sometimes, especially with a younger team. And it's one of those things in my mind. It's like you brought a fucking old dinosaur in to coach a bunch of young guys. Like that's a prime time to bring somebody young in.
Honestly, yeah, good point.
When
Um,
they hired him, it felt like such a tired retread. I'm like, you're not even just getting a guy off the NHL carousel. You're getting the guy you had like 10 years ago.
Right.
Like,
who obviously didn't work out for you then either.
yeah,
Really.
It's
You got rid of him then, yeah.
He got to
So-
a conference final.
So I think you have a little bit more leeway in the sense like you got to give some time to try and see if that comes together on that end. So I don't think you're going to see like anything. God, if they shut the bed again this season, I don't think you're going to see anything really drastically change. But I feel like in the next couple years, like maybe next year, if the same thing were to happen again, then
Yeah.
you're looking at something has to change.
Yeah. So what's so you said a little bit lower than a habanero.
Yeah. So what? Serrano is that a little
yeah,
lower
those
than
are
habaneros?
just a bit lower, yeah. Cayenne's
Yeah.
just a bit lower, yeah.
Okay.
Very nice.
Cayenne pepper.
Cayenne, same as same as Tabasco sauce, according to the scale.
Ooh.
Now if I was in this position, my ass would be on fire, bro.
It should be, I think. at
Like
this point.
like
I mean,
I'm
they've been-
higher than all of you. I'm like Carolina Reaper is 14.
So you're talking like ghost
100,000.
pepper land, huh?
I was just about to say I would be Ghost Pepper because like listen, this team's been
They-
like, oh, this is their year. Oh,
Yeah,
this is their year. Oh,
they've been
at some point it's got to be your
perennial-
year.
They
At some
have
point you got to
been
do it.
perennial, Like, holy shit, they're gonna be pretty good this year, team.
Seriously.
For like 4 or 5 years. Well, maybe not 4 or 5, but
It's been at least
good
3.
a good few. A good few, yeah.
And at some point, you would want them to at least multiple years in a row now. They've been like what
It's like, oh shit, they're right
points,
there.
like
And
5
then-
points or less
yeah,
from a playoff
yeah.
spot. At some point, you gotta get in. With this team too, you look at this team on paper. Good lord, that is a nice
You'd
looking
think it-
roster.
You'd think it would do something more than what it's done, yeah.
It's the prototypical, like it's the opposite of the sum is greater than its parts or whatever. It's equal to greater than its parts. However that goddamn saying
Right.
goes. It's
Yeah.
the opposite of that. It's
Yeah.
less
The
than
sum
somehow.
Actually, is somehow worse than all of the parts.
I don't understand it like that. It's just such
Actually,
such a bummer.
dude, that's the perfect analogy too, because every single Sabres, but remember last year was like how many ex-Sabres have won the Stanley Cup at this point? It's just
Dude.
insane.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's just
they just
insane.
keep winning.
Yeah.
They leave and they do
What's
well.
going
We've got
on?
Eichel,
Yeah.
Montour,
Yeah.
Reinhardt, O'Reilly, Cousins.
Cousins,
Like they're all
oh
just like
God.
we're out of
He
here and we're
didn't
winning.
win, but he was in the cup final. Like,
Yeah.
I know, yeah, it's insane, dude. It's absolutely insane. So watch out, because guess who's in Edmonton now? Jeffy
Oh,
Skinner.
boy. Oh boy.
Oh,
oh,
Jeffy
yeah.
Skinner.
Oh,
He scored for
Jeff-
me, Eric.
that's the conspiracy. Is now that that's the key. Jeff Skinner has gone to Edmonton, and that means they're next up.
That is exactly what it means. Yes, exactly.
Uh,
Okay. All right. Thank you for participating in that, gentlemen. We have one more.
right. Oh boy.
One more
Who-
scenario.
One more scenario. It is another management team.
Oh no.
Eric or Nick? Who wants to go first? Who wants to be the spieler?
Rick, you're more elegant than me. Take it.
I appreciate it. My
Okay.
beanie indicates elegance.
It does. It does. The beanie and the glasses. Okay.
Yeah.
Eric, you are Penguins management.
Oh
So
god.
Kyle Dubas, I guess.
Oh god.
How hot under the collar are you thinking about the fact that Crosby has stayed to try to win a cup with you? And so that's the pressure that you've got on you. Like, how hot is it? How hot is it in that
Okay.
room?
Caroline gave me a pepper scale. It's probably different than your pepper scale.
Hey, whatever.
I'm gonna go up to. You know what? I'm gonna say ghost pepper as well. I know you did that last time, but I'm
Pretty
gonna say
warm.
ghost pepper.
Pretty warm.
And this is why I'm gonna say that. because I thought that Tristan Jari was the guy to lead my team. And
Oh right, you
I'm gonna
Kyle
say this.
Dubas, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna say this.
Thank you
Tristan-
for your candidacy, Kyle.
Kyle Dubas wouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say this. Tristan Jari can be the guy at times. Like there's stretches where it's like, oh look, there's a little something here. When has that ever been consistent?
Never.
The answer is never. Yeah, the answer is never. So that immediately puts me in the hot seat for that, because you need a freaking goalie if you're gonna win a Stanley Cup. So that sucks. And then when you look at Pittsburgh's depth scoring,
What depth scoring?
behind what depth? It's not there. It's not there. For
Yeah.
some reason, this is kind of crazy, and I know this because of my Islanders, my Islanders connections. Anthony Beauvillier and Sebastian Aho were added to the Pittsburgh Penguins roster this year.
Holy shit, Sebastian! Oh, that one.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
The superior
you
Aho.
added a small mobile defenseman and a guy who's been bounced around like
There is-
5 teams in the past year.
There
All
is
right, that's
nothing
great.
Kyle Dubas loves. No, sorry, there's nothing you love more than
Yeah,
a small mobile defenseman.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
And so basically, I need to ask myself, why do I love small mobile defensemen so much? And why do I love
Why do you keep choosing the ones that aren't that good at hockey?
why do I love making my entire roster just be depth signings and not have an actual plan for like a type of like strategy? Am I gonna wear teams down by hitting them? Am I gonna wear teams down with like, some crisp passing, some young speed and star power? No, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna get a bunch of depth players that maybe can gel together, maybe not. So Ghost Pepper.
Eloquently put. Just to add context, lines 3 and 4 for the Penguins, according to Daily Faceoff, are Drew O'Connor, Lars Eller, Rutger McGorty, who they just got, McGrorty. And then their fourth line is Kevin Hayes, Cody Glass, and Noel Achari. So yeah, Kevin Hayes.
Kevin Hayes from.
I'm not gonna lie, that
Really?
fourth line actually has more NHL guys than I thought. Like guys who are like NHL, just guys.
They've contributed in the past.
They do exist and have played in the league, yes.
Yes. Yep. All right. Yeah. Nick, what do you think about that? What
Let's turn it
pepper
up.
would you
Go-
do that?
Let's turn it up a little hotter and even go with Carolina
Oh.
Reapers.
Oh
my
dear.
To all of Eric's points about depth signings and that being that, not to mention trading away the guy you should have planned to build your team around. I know you have your thoughts on him, Mike. You trade away the guy you probably should have held on to and built your rebuild around, and also signing old geriatric fucking dudes that just are never going to play out the rest of their contracts. And yeah, so yeah, you extend Crosby and he wants to win again, and you probably, I'm not going to say probably, you more than likely have the oldest roster in the league.
I
One of
believe
the
they
older
do.
ones.
I believe they do. If it's not,
If
then
not the
I'm
oldest,
shocked.
It's up
With a
there.
goalie who I dislike strongly. So I don't think he's tooled this team to do the thing.
Yes, Eric. I mean, Kyle has not done it.
In
He has not
fairness
done
to
it.
you, Kyle, like the situation you were brought into,
It was
like
shite.
the Hextall and Burke left that cap situation in fucking shambles. Like
It's
it
quite
was
bad.
It was bad. And also at the same time, it's been more or less confirmed by reporting that Fenway ownership brought in Kyle Dubas saying brought in you, sorry, saying that you got to get the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years out of Crosby and see what can happen, and then after that, figure shit out. So
So he's doing what they
he-
want.
he is. I just don't think that's what they should have done. But
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's So where's your pepper? What's your pepper at? Are you with Nick
My
at Carolina?
pepper is pretty low because
Oh,
I think he's because I think you can, as Kyle, you can or as this lovely Kyle we have in the call with us, you can
Beanie Kyle.
say to ownership, you can be like, hey man, like I tried to work it with the situation we have, it just isn't workable. We got to pivot now. Like there's enough plausibility there where I mean obviously he signed like a massive deal. I think it's like a long-term
big, yeah.
contract.
He
I
just
think he's
needs
fine.
to have the foresight to make a move. That's the thing, and right. So he held on.
Don't tell Pittsburgh fans on Twitter about that. They get pissed at you at the fucking mere suggestion that any of the main three get traded.
Hey man,
I'm
I
just
get
saying,
that.
though, right? Like,
I get
if you
that.
come to
I
the
get
point
it,
where
but
this
like
isn't
also
working,
you got to
you've
look
just
at where
lived
you're at.
through-
Like
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You have to come to a point where, like, if this shit's not working, you gotta pivot, and he doesn't exactly have a track record of pivoting.
Very true.
So,
Yeah.
Very
he
true.
kind of quadruples down on everything, but
Quadruples down.
which
Yeah.
means they're
Yeah.
gonna go and trade to get Brent Burns and bring him on the back end and
Yeah.
find somebody else old, and let's just keep rolling with it.
bring Joe Thornton out of retirement.
No, who was
Joe
it?
Pavelski. Pavelski just left, dude. He can still play.
Oh yeah, that's true. Hey, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, him and Kyle Okposo. That'll do it.
Yes. Cup pedigree. You don't have enough of that on the Penguins.
That's all you have on the
I know, it really is. It's like a decade ago cup pedigree.
Yeah, it's only like 7 years ago. So I guess close to a
16,
decade.
17. 17 was the last one. Yeah. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
like 7 years. Yeah.
It was 15, 16, and 16, 17, so 7 to 8 years. Yeah. Not great. It's not great.
Yeah.
They need to be, like they could get so like I know it's unthinkable due to the trades of like Malkin, Crosby, Letang, but like the
Carlson.
assets you could get back, and
would
nobody's
be-
taking that fucking deal. But, or although I think he was retained, so yeah, maybe somebody will take that deal.
Retain again.
But
They just keep retaining him until he costs like $5.
yeah.
Listen, I don't mean to change sports, but Max Scherzer did the exact same thing. He got paid by, I want to say, Houston and the Mets and Texas this season.
Did he really?
That's-
Wow.
Wow.
That's-
Yeah,
What a-
so
what a
he's getting
beast.
paid in 3 different. I might have the teams wrong, but he's getting paid by 3 teams.
Yeah. What a guy. What a guy. Speaking of the Mets, I'm pretty sure they're losing.
No.
Okay. If I was in Kyle Dubas's seat, how toasty would my buns be? They would be.
Pretty Nice
uh,
catch.
I would have to lean towards Benny. I'd have to lean towards like a nice little Poblano, because like
Okay.
it's not really all his fault. Like what did he sign? He signed the Jari extension. That one hurts.
Not great.
The
It's not,
Crosby
of the
one-
moves he's made, it's not great.
Yeah, the Crosby one is incredible.
Yeah, the Crosby one's more than fine. That's just great.
He made the Carlson trade,
Yes, which
so that's also not looking great. But again, he was not handed a great situation. Listen, you're not winning another cup with Crosby. Hate to say it, but I feel like he knows that. So I don't think he's too
see
hot
it,
there.
Yeah.
I don't think he's too hot about that. So I'm saying a nice Poblano, which, if you'd like to know, is one step underneath a jalapeno,
Okay.
which happens to be my favorite pepper. So
Okay.
little fun fact.
You enjoy
But yeah.
it when it comes back through you too.
I don't get that. Fiery poops. I don't get that. I've never understood that, but yeah.
Oh, their thing. I
He's
can't
like,
speak. From,
believe me.
I can't speak from peppers, but I can speak from hot sauce because Liz was in Indiana last weekend, right? And she's in Chicago's airport, and she gets me a bag of. Apparently, this is famous in Chicago, but it was basically like hot Cheeto flavored popcorn, and this shit was friggin' good.
Like flaming hot popcorn?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It was really good, but it was friggin' burning on the back end.
Oh,
Damn.
no.
Unfortunate. It's like that, dude. It's like when people put a lighter up to their butt and fart, and it's like a like a flamethrower coming out. All right. Well, thanks, gentlemen, for attending my Peppers Anonymous meeting, and hope to see you again next week, where I'll have some all new situations that we can talk about.
Hell yeah.
And please feel free in the comments to leave a comment and
suggest some scenarios.
Give us some scenarios where we where we can talk about that and give you a pepper rating. But yeah.
And before we get to playoff teams, could we possibly take one more quick break?
Oh, sure. All right.
Beauty.
One more break. Okie dokie, gents. It's time. I've given you one extra week. One free week of games to watch. But that's it. That's all you get. 2 early playoff picks right now. And I'm going to give it to you guys. Who would like to start us off? And where? Probably the West. We always start there.
the West.
All right. Eric, you feel like starting us off then?
Yep. Do you want me to go Pacific or Central?
Go Pacific. Let's work our way west to east.
Okay.
All the way west to all the way east.
So Pacific then?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and in terms of format, you want to do like top 4 or your
So give me your top 3. We'll go top 3 for each.
Yeah, and then wild card after.
And then
right?
wild cards. Yep.
Okay. So my Pacific 1, 2, 3. I think Edmonton is going to be 1.
Ooh.
Which is pretty maybe not that safe. I think Edmonton's going to be 1. I think Vancouver is going to be 2. I think Vegas is going to be 3.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. I have these same teams. But I slot Vegas in at number 1. And then the rest are the same order. So Vegas, Edmonton, and Vancouver. That's my order.
Okay.
I as well have the same 3, but I have it going Vegas. Oh, I think I have the same order as you, Mike.
As me.
Vegas, Vancouver, Edmonton.
Okay. I have the 2 and 3 swapped, but
okay.
As the only person who has somebody else in the top 3.
Yeah, what do you got?
I have honestly kind of just a remix of like the last few years. Vegas, Edmonton, LA.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
I don't even think that's a remix. That's what it is, man.
It has often been that.
That's
yes.
just what it is.
Yeah.
So you think nothing changes? You think same old in the Pacific? Although I
Pretty
guess
much,
last year it was Vancouver was in there
It's so hard to change just because
instead of Vegas.
some of those other teams are just so ass.
Yeah.
The bottom of the barrel of the Pacific is quite shite. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's not what we're here to talk about. But we are here to talk about the Central top 3, gents. And I'm going first this time.
All right.
So I know in the last episode I was talking about Nashville being the team to beat. I'm putting Dallas on the top still. I think Dallas is still best team in the Central. I think there'll be something interesting will happen in the playoffs, obviously. But I have Dallas at 1, I have Nashville at 2, and I have Winnipeg at 3.
Ooh. Okay.
The Peg City.
Egg City. I still can't believe they actually said that in a social media post
I know.
last year.
Like,
Legendary.
listen,
tweet.
I don't spend a huge amounts of time online. And even I was like, what? Come on, dude. Come on. Okay, Benny, where do you have Peg City?
I have the Peg at 2nd in the Central with
Wow.
the Dallas at 1st. I have Dallas, Winnipeg, Nashville as my top 3 of the Central. It's an improvement for Nashville, but they still have their own flaws.
Okay.
But they're gonna get 3rd. Yeah.
Nice.
That's my Central.
All right. Rick.
All right, my Central, maybe a little controversial, maybe not. I have Dallas as my 1. I have Winnipeg as my 2. I have Colorado as my 3rd.
Okay. See, Colorado is like that's one of the teams that for the last like 4, 5, 6 years, it's like yeah, just put them in there. They're in that top 3, 100%. This is the first year that I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah,
because
that's why
they're real thin
Yep.
after like line 1. They're kind of thin, but hey, it's Nate McKinnon, so who knows? And Cale Makar.
I don't want to get too much into this, but a Gabe Landeskog return could possibly happen this season, and that's all I'll say on that.
That would
That
increase the odds
true.
for sure. All right, Nick, what do you got?
Dallas, Winnipeg, Nashville.
All right, so you are in the same mind as Benny.
Yep.
Eric, the only one with a difference there, having Colorado in there.
Mhm.
Let's go to the wild cards then. Here is where we might see, because one of you might be like, "Oh, why'd you leave this team out? Why'd you leave that team out?" We might see that team right here. Nick, we're gonna go right back to you, unless you need more time.
No, I don't. I think that Minnesota is going to get one of the wild cards.
All right.
Oh,
Ooh.
Minnesota's coming back into the playoffs. All right.
Yep.
Very nice.
And God, I don't like the Pacific at all.
You don't have to do a Pacific. You can do 2 Centrals.
I know.
Yeah.
I may or may not have 2 from the same division coming up later.
I think the Kings are just been proven too much, so I'm going one from each. I'll go with Minnesota and the Kings.
All right. There we go. Benny, what about you?
So I actually am fairly certain with these 2 wild cards, it'll mean all of my Western playoff teams are the same. They're just shifted around because my last 2 are Colorado and Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
So I think I literally have all of the same teams from last year, just in
Kind of moved
different
around.
orders. Yeah.
All right. Very fun. How about you, Eric?
This is gonna be this. I don't know my confidence in this, but it's just going off of a feeling right now. Nashville's my first one,
Okay.
and then my second one's Calgary.
Oh, wow.
Calgary.
That is a pick.
Yeah,
They've had a
Looking
good
good
start.
right now.
They've had a good start. Who knows?
it's
Who
so
knows?
early in the season. All I'm gonna say is this: remember, Nick said he doesn't like the Pacific. I just look at that Pacific and I'm like,
That's
oh,
true. That's true.
You think they're gonna feast?
they might.
You think
That's all
they'll
I'm
feast?
saying. They
All
might.
right. That is bold. That is by far the boldest we've had so far.
Yeah.
All right. My wild card teams. I also have the LA Kings because I feel like they're just get in. They'll be in. They'll get in. Because that's just kind of how it is. And again, because the Pacific is poopy. And then here we go, boys. They've moved to a new city, new management. The Utah Hockey Club will be coming into the playoffs
Hey,
on the back of
there's
Clayton
certain-
Keller and Dylan Gunther. Beauties. And big tuna,
Certainly,
spicy tuna.
Certainly made a good go of it so far. So
They look pretty good, man. They're like
Yeah.
they're flying around. They're making cool plays. Very early, but I like it. And Clayton Keller, what a beast.
Yeah, dude.
People talk about the most underrated player. I feel like he's on that list just because of where he's played.
I think he's the new.
Yeah.
I think the new underrated player.
I was pissed when you snagged him in fantasy this year because I loved him last year.
He's been.
but-
I left him on the bench last night. He got like 2 goals and an assist. I'm like, okay,
Dude.
all right, that's what we're doing this year, I guess. Okay.
Don't bench him. Don't bench
Apparently
him.
not. No, I
Is
believe I
Vejmelka
benched.
is still there? Is he their starter still?
I actually have no clue, but I want to look at
Or
it now. So
Connor
let me
Ingram,
have
I
a
think,
look.
has been playing most of their games.
Yeah.
Utah? Yeah.
Connor
Yeah.
Ingram, and then Vejmelka's backing him up. Looks like
Your boy Sergman's gonna bring
they
him right
got
in.
Sergman. Oh yeah, they got Sergachev. Yep. They actually made quite a few moves. As soon as they changed management, they were like, all right, let's make this team not absolutely terrible.
Now the ownership actually has money.
And they actually care. Yeah, seems.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Because
so
it's the same. It actually is the same general manager and like management team.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
just,
yeah,
they
okay,
just
okay.
have new ownership.
They have they have more probably leeway to actually do their jobs.
Actually spend money.
Yeah. So yeah, I got them in there, man. Get them in.
All right.
Wild card.
All right.
Just to get absolutely smoked by
by
probably
somebody.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go over to the East, and we'll start in the Metro.
Oh dear.
I'll start us in the Metro. I got the Rangers in the top spot still. That could easily change because they had it last year. So, I feel like that kind of thing doesn't usually hold. And New Jersey got a lot better. But I have the Rangers in that top spot. I have New Jersey in the second spot. And I have Carolina dropping to the third spot.
Yeah.
So that's my order. Nothing bold for me.
I'll follow you up because I have the exact same except flip New Jersey and New York. I have New Jersey coming back hot
Spicy.
with their recent additions. I mean, the goalie situation of Markstrom and Jake Allen is like the most solid they've had since Brodeur probably.
Very true.
So like I fully expect them to be good this year. I have them as first, and then New York Rangers second, Carolina third.
All right. Niche.
I'll go next. I'm gonna agree with Benny for the number one, and you have the Devils be on top. Then I'm gonna go with the Rangers, and then I'm gonna stay right in the metropolitan area, and put the Isles on there and on third.
Isles at
Oh,
third. You're gonna have
He's
the
got 'em
Isles
in.
above the Hurricanes.
Yeah, that just gave me anxiety right now.
imagine that. Dude, that's bold.
That's
I
a
like it.
full season of Patrick Waugh. Sorokin's gonna come back with a resurgence after that
Sorokin-
back surgery. That number one line is gonna be anchored by Duclair, like Eric said. They're
Duke.
gonna look good.
The Duke, yes.
Anchored by Duclair.
The Duke, yeah. Not Barzell. Duclair.
That's right.
Benny, what do you got on the Metro?
I just told you.
Yeah, I go.
Eric.
Yeah, you did.
Rick's turn.
Eric, what do you have on the Metro?
All right, I have. Okay.
I wasn't listening the
I
first time.
I know the Devils are probably going to come back. So they're in there for me, but I'm going to go the Rangers are going to be first. Cuz it's a contract year for Igor, so I think he's going to, play great. But
Mhm.
Rangers, Hurricanes are still in second for me, and the Devils are in third.
All right.
So same
Very cool.
teams, just
Yeah,
oh no, Nick has the
No,
Islanders.
Nick's
sorry, yeah,
swip swapped it. He swip swapped it. Okay, the Atlantic. Who wants to go first?
I'll go
Mike.
first because it's a lot of the same. Honestly, well, so
More of the same. Huh?
we
I'll
have
go
views
last.
we have views of the Atlantic changing, but for this year, I think we're getting a little bit of a repeat. Just shifting it around a little bit. But I do have Boston at first.
Wow. Okay.
I have Florida at second, and I have the Tampa Bay Lightning at third.
All right. I hope that that's true. Actually, no, I don't, because I do not want to play Florida in the first round. I don't want that.
So yeah, you want a wild card. I mean, with the Atlantic, the whole thing is if you're a playoff team,
It
in the
doesn't
Atlantic,
matter, man.
you're gonna be fucked regardless.
You're playing
So-
You're playing
Yeah.
a good team. Like,
Yeah.
The Atlantic is just so good. You're playing a good team. It doesn't matter. All right. Okay. The Lightning in third. That's bold. That feels bold to me, as a fan.
Okay.
I'm gonna go last because I think I have a boldness. I think I am bold in this one. So, Eric,
Okay.
what do you got?
So I have. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I just think it'd be hilarious. I have Toronto in first. I have Tampa Bay in second. I have
Wow.
Florida in third.
Dang. That is interesting. That is quite interesting. Tampa in second. That is.
Yeah.
I feel like
Nick
there's
Fox.
no possible way that happens, but
Yeah,
who
I felt
knows?
like third was kind of being high on them, but yeah.
Listen, I love the
I-
Lightning, and their defense has gotten better. They have one more line than Colorado. Let's just say that.
So all I'm going to say is this: I thought last year that Tampa would be lower, and then Kucherov said, "Shut the fuck up, watch." And I'm like, I guess you can
This is
still do
true.
that. So,
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, they were the first wild card team, so they were lower technically.
Yeah, technically. Yeah.
Nick, what do you got?
I know you said you were kind of making a joke of picking them first, Eric, but I'm gonna do the same and put Toronto
Please.
first.
Yeah.
They just had so many moves this offseason. There's a lot of new faces there that I don't know. I think will help. But them first, Bruins second, and the Panthers third.
All right.
Ooh.
So far,
Alright.
everyone's got the Panthers in there. No shocker there. So we'll go to mine.
I will
Oh,
say to the comment on the Panthers, they're obviously gonna be good. I'm skeptical about how good because they did lose a lot of players in the
they
offseason.
did. They certainly did. Many
Like
and
you lost
important
a large
players
caliber
too.
of your team that helped you win that cup, and yeah, you still have your offense there. Like the primary guys of your offense are still there, but there are pieces gone
Definitely.
that are gonna hurt.
Definitely.
And who the fuck
Absolutely.
knows what Bob's gonna do?
That's what I said. I was watching the Boston game, and towards the end when Boston started to score a bunch, I was like, man, these are some kind of bad goals. Like, I was like,
But it's
is
game one.
Is it? I know it's game one, but I was like, are we doing the thing? Are we doing the Bob thing? We're
You're
flipping
on,
back.
you're off. You're on, you're
Yeah.
off.
Are we flipping back? Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. A lot hinges on the goalie, obviously. So my Atlantic, I too have Toronto at number 1. I feel
Okay.
like the changes they made will either, I feel like it is either going to be a lot of regular season success coupled with more of the same in the playoffs, or it's going to be less in the regular season and then more
And more.
playoff success. That's the way I see it, because that's just how it works, dude.
Yeah.
Except for with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have Toronto first. I have the Panthers in second. They did lose some pieces, but they're still going to be good. My third place team
Detroit?
is the Ottawa Senators.
Yep. Knew it. Knew it.
Oh.
Just,
Listen, they finally got their goalie. They are going to put it all together, and it's going to be beautiful. And they're going to be that third spot team in the Atlantic.
Remains
they-
to be
We've
seen.
been
And
having
they-
this conversation a lot over the last couple of years about these other teams sneaking in. It's just when we've said it every time, the Atlantic's so friggin' hard. You look at every team in that division, put aside the Sabres. But the Sabres are still good too, on paper. Yeah. I agree.
Well, like if you look at the Atlantic,
That's
there's
so
no-
hard. Not every
Yeah.
single one of those teams is going to get in. Like it's a crapshoot for any of them.
It
in my
is
opinion.
so close, but in the middle. And right now, I see. Oh, Nick's out of here.
Oh, and he's back.
Ugh.
Right now, I see Tampa. I see Boston. I see Detroit. Less so. More the Senators, Detroit, and Buffalo. All kind of hovering in the same area. Obviously, some a little higher, some a little lower. All it takes is a injury on one team, some substandard play, and things could swap real quick. And I think that's what's going to happen.
It's also
Go
crazy
Sens.
to look at if you look at the two oceanic divisions, there's no Anaheim or San Jose in the Atlantic.
Yes.
Like the Habs aren't great, but they're a lot better
Yeah.
than those teams.
Yeah.
Like
There's no easy nights playing an
Right.
Atlantic team. So yeah, I see like it's gonna be tight, and there's gonna be teams taking points off other teams all the time. I think it's gonna happen. I think Ottawa can do it.
Hope
Plus,
you're
they
right.
got Olmark. That's their missing piece. Vezina caliber goalie.
It does make a big difference, a goalie. It does.
Absolutely, it does. And you saw in game 1 that Corpusalo was not it.
No, he really was not.
He is not it. So,
He was not it.
so I have a good feeling. I got a good feeling. But we'll go to the wild cards, and I'll go first because mine are kind of boring. I have Boston, Tampa. I think 2 Atlantic teams. The Atlantic's really good. I have 2 Atlantic teams in there, Boston, Tampa. I think they're going to fall back a little bit, but they'll still make it.
You have Ottawa finishing ahead of both Boston and Tampa.
Bold move, Con. Let's see how it plays out.
Oh, it's going to play out wonderfully.
I mean, hey, have fun with playing this back and me looking befuddled if it actually happens, but
Yep. I'm going to do a nice short where it zooms in on you.
yeah. Hey, fucking go for it. But
All right. So what are
right.
your wild cards? What do you got? Anything interesting?
I have Toronto and the Islanders.
Oh, all right.
So I almost did the same thing in the Eastern Conference in that I have everybody the same, but just moved around, except for I have New Jersey in for Washington. Yeah, but
I see. I played with having Washington in there, but then I got to the wild cards and I was like, nah.
no,
I
they're
was like,
not.
nah.
Yeah, no.
What are you, Eric?
I guess relatively boring, but Islanders Bruins.
All right. Yeah, very
Yeah.
similar to Benny. Actually,
Yep.
maybe I think it's the same teams as Benny. Just swapped around.
I think it is as well. Yeah.
All right, Nick.
Yep.
Anything fun? Come on, give me something fun.
Yeah, I am gonna have some fun. So Tampa's gonna miss this year,
No!
and Carolina's gonna miss this year because
Wow.
Ottawa and Detroit are both getting in.
Wow.
With Detroit?
Holy.
Ottawa.
Who'd you say in
Ottawa.
Detroit?
Wow.
I would say Detroit has the number 1 spot, and Ottawa sneaks in with the number 2. Yeah,
Yes.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Ben, you
You
weren't
have-
at your
you have-
computer when I said this. I said my picks are going to be totally winging it
He
because
did.
I have no
He did say
basis
that.
on any of them.
Yeah.
I have no reason to exclude
That's
Carolina
fair.
just
That's
because
fair.
I don't want to.
That's fair. Okay, yeah. You know what? I can't even say anything because the amount of times I've had the exact same reasoning.
That's your when we do the brackets. That's you with your
Yeah.
bracket. You can't
Yeah,
say
like
anything.
so I just said that. I just said that. I was like, I can't.
You were talking with your expression. That's also not allowed.
Oh.
All right. Well done, everybody. That's gonna be interesting. It'll be interesting to see who's the closest. We're all pretty similar as usual. You can always kind of tell. But then there's always a few on the fringe teams that you can throw in there.
Yeah.
And this year it's Ottawa, baby. That few years ago it was Buffalo. Now it's Ottawa. Buffalo is not going to do anything because I've watched a few of their games.
Are you proud
Maybe
that I
we'll
didn't
prove-
force the Habs into a wild card?
Yeah,
So,
well, yeah, but
remember,
I was like, at this point, you can't. You can't yet. Next year, though, I'm
No.
expecting it next year.
year
I'll
I
be
actually-
disappointed if you don't.
Next year I will come up with a way next year.
I'll
Yes.
be disappointed if you don't.
You remember a couple years ago, Melnick said Ottawa was going to be a playoff team in the next 3 to 5 years. We're now
did.
in the 3 to 5 years since he said
Oh,
that.
boy.
So,
Oh
He,
boy.
he did say that.
R.I.P..
Come on,
but maybe he's right.
you don't know that he really knew what was going on. All right, okay. Last couple of minutes here. How's everybody's fantasy going?
It could not be coming more down to the wire for me. It is currently, look at this matchup right now. It's 227 to 224.
Wow, that is a
And
tight matchup.
The live projected has me at 235 and your mom at 236.97.
Wow, that is
So there's
cool,
a
dude.
legit chance for a tie in this, and I kind of want it to happen.
I would love to see an actual tie because then it
Like,
would
I
be
want
you have that. There's that third number.
that would be the first time anybody would have that third number, and I really want that to happen. Because it's week 1, I don't give a fuck. And
That
if
would
it's
mess
this
everything up.
close, I kind of want to have it
That would be
happen.
interesting.
Because yeah, how does that come into play for the seeding later on? Like, if you had like a same amount of wins and then a loss versus a tie, or like
It would have
wins
to
and
be
2
the.
losses,
I think it would be
the tie would get you ahead, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I think if you have the same
I
amount of
want to find out.
I don't know. I don't know.
But same amount of wins, a loss and a tie versus same amount of wins and 2 losses.
I would
the loss
assume
and
the
a tie
tie
would
would
go
be
above, right?
ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
The loss and the tie. Yeah. Because you have less losses.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think that's
I just
how it
want to
goes.
see it happen.
That would be
So
quite
Tony
interesting.
and I have a close week as well going on. I got 237. He's at 214. I'm projected to beat him at 248, and he'll have 221. But it's a close week for week 1.
They're all pretty close.
Yeah.
Yep. That is.
One thing I did notice though this year, I don't know if anybody else did, and maybe it's something I missed or whatever, but looks like we've got restrictions on ads and drops.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
Mike
have
mentioned
2.
that, yeah.
He was not in the Discord during the draft.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
2
we
moves
have
a week.
2
I
moves
like
a week.
that a lot more because we don't get the dumb bullshit of people like
Yeah,
yeah.
you're not just
The
adding and
fire
dropping
sale
and-
roster
yeah.
at the end of the season
Yeah.
to
No.
try and win it.
Yeah.
Not doing that anymore. And I think the I forget. I had one other thing that I changed, but now I can't remember what it is. Oh, the that IR slot, Nick, is for IR, out, and day to day. All 3.
Oh.
You don't have to wait for the
It doesn't have to
IR,
be
it's
IR.
just
Yep.
any injured situation.
That's nice.
Another quality of life improvement by the commissioner.
No, that's
Thank me
perfect
later.
because that no, fantastic job.
By
'cause-
Jerry Bettman.
Because the things that make you like how long it takes to get to IR in fantasy, I don't understand it. Because there were the amount of times I had guys who were like really good fucking players who had been out for like a month and you still couldn't put them on IR in fucking fantasy. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Like out, like Eric Barkov. You could throw Barkov on that slot right now.
Yes. I was gonna get to that actually.
Currently, I right now am 10 points, literally exactly 10 points behind Eric. I was ahead by like, Jesus, I don't even know. It was like 50 points. And then
50
Eric had 136 points last night
Yes, I did.
and passed me and took like a 30-point lead on me or something. And I was
I'm-
like, I went to bed and I was like, okay, we're good. And then I woke up and I was like, holy shit, are you serious? Like, talk
So,
about a flip.
I'm just gonna say this: you just said earlier you left points on the bench in Clayton Keller, and I happened to luck out with an Ottinger shutout. So really, just like it's fantasy hockey, right? Like I just lucked out.
Yeah. Well, you
And,
also
if
left
my
points
team
on the
up
bench.
I did. And the other thing, of course, like every single year. In fact, I say every single year. It's the past 2. Remember last year I got Jack Hughes and he was doing great. Injured. I get Barkov. What does he do? Fucking second game of the season, injured.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I was so angry
It's
at
definitely
that. I'm like,
unfortunate.
fucking Barkov gets injured playing the Sens on an empty net when he just crashes into the boards with
Yeah.
fucking Tim Diver. Oh my god, what an
Yeah.
asshole!
Yeah.
No
So,
offense.
do you guys have any standouts yet? Any standout players? Had a good first week?
No, I've really just kind of had a good spread across. I haven't really had anybody pop off yet. No.
I'll tell you this.
Oh no,
Clayton-
actually, no, I take that back. Pasternak's had a good. I mean, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll tell you this. Clayton Keller for me has 23 points for the week, so that's not bad. But I picked up. So I had Matt Boldy. He was day to day, so I was like, So I put him on that slot, and I picked up one Ivan Barbashev off of the free
Dude,
agent market.
He's on a first line there. I saw that too.
Dude,
And he currently right now has 42.5 points on the week
Insane.
and is playing
Good
at 10
lord.
p.m. so
Oh damn.
he
can
might
tell
be
you-
the difference, Eric. He's coming for you.
yeah, no, I genuinely, I think Barbashev could be the difference for you this week. He's hot right now.
I can tell you I don't have any standouts, but I have no good standouts. They're all just doing eh. I have a very bad standout.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Fucking Georgiev. He's got negative
What?
16 points on the week for me.
Oh.
He had -8 in their first game, and he had -8 again last night.
Colorado has had a very, very bad start
Oh
to the year.
yeah. -16.
Well, they lost their first game 8-4. Like,
Oh, it's absolutely, I understand it, but like, let me like imagine if you just didn't have that guy.
Yeah.
You'd have like a 50-point lead or something like that at this point. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah, not thrilled
Funny,
about
funny
it.
for me. But yeah. Also, Jeffy Skinner has got me 20 points right now for the week.
Oh yeah.
So I've got a lot of
Zach
dudes
Hyman
doing kind of
hasn't
mid.
done dog shit yet. 50-goal
Edmonton.
scorer last year. What the fuck?
Who?
Edmonton
Anyway,
knocked on
Zach
Edmonton with
Hyman.
a head start.
The Hyman. Yeah. But yeah, so good start to the year. It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top and who takes the early lead in the fantasy leaguers. I still got to figure out a better name for it. We'll do that. We'll do that eventually. Yeah. All right. Is that it for you guys?
Yeah, that's about it.
All right. Well, we will see everybody next week. Have a good week. Enjoy the hockey. And be safe. Peace out.